Hey, what's happening, travelers? Adam here. This video is all around the 3 best options for health insurance when you're in Australia on a working holiday visa, okay? First off, let's start things off with, do you even need health insurance if you're in Australia on a working holiday visa? Technically, the answer is no. Technically, you don't need it. But if you break your arm or something and you have to go to the hospital, you're gonna have to pay for that out of pocket, or you're gonna have to take on debt to pay for that. So that is definitely not a situation you want to be in. So you want to make sure that you are going to be covered by health insurance when you're in Australia on a working holiday visa. Now, fortunately, in this video, we're going to go over 3 great options. You have some very great options, affordable options for health insurance when you're in Australia on a working holiday visa. So let's dig into it. Number 1, it's kind of a no-brainer. If you are in this list of the following countries, you have a great option, because your home government has a reciprocal relationship with the Australian government, and you are not necessarily going to always have to purchase a separate plan. So what do I mean by that? Here on this list, if you are from one of these countries, if you're from Belgium, Finland, Italy, Malta, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Ireland, Slovenia, Sweden, or the United Kingdom, if you are from one of these countries, your government has a reciprocal relationship with the Australian government, and you may not have to pay the full rates for health insurance, okay? Health insurance in your country, assuming you're covered, should be mostly going towards the Australian government. Now, I've not read the fine details on every one of these countries specifically. So what you are definitely going to want to do is you're going to want to click the link in the description of this video next to reciprocal healthcare agreements, and read up more about the specific reciprocal healthcare agreement that the Australian government has with your country. Okay. So that's the no-brainer. If you're from one of those countries, that's the option that's probably going to make the most sense for you. It's going to be the cheapest. If you're not from one of those countries, I'm from the United States, fortunately, you still do have some other affordable options. The next one that I recommend, this is what I personally did. I personally chose to get travel health insurance through Medibank. I also have a description to this one, and all these links are in the description box of this video. But personally, I decided to go with Medibank for my Australian health insurance when I was in Australia on a working holiday visa. And their cheapest plan runs $51 a month. So you can see here, there are several different plans that you can choose from at several different price points, at several different levels of service. Personally, I chose to get this cheapest one, and I was pretty happy with it. I only really had to use it once. There was one time I was living in a share house and I was doing dishes late at night. I may or may not have been a little tipsy, and I was doing dishes. I dropped a plate. The plate was falling, right? So I went to try to catch it, but on its way down, it hit the tabletop, shattered, and then I'm trying to catch it, and my hand just pushes a sliver of this like ceramic plate like right into my finger, and I got a massive cut on my finger. So what I did, I went to the doctor. First thing the next day, probably should have done it that night, whatever. The doctor looked at it and basically glued it up, put a bandage on it, and I believe I paid a small copay when I was actually in the doctor's office. I can't remember for sure, but I'm really glad that I did have health insurance, even though I only used it this one time, and it might have been cheaper for me to not have health insurance. I mean, when you're in Australia on a working holiday visa, you're gonna be doing tons of crazy stuff, and you don't want to break a bone or something and have to worry about coming up with the cash to pay for a broken bone or anything like that, right? So I definitely recommend you get the health insurance. All right, and the third option for health insurance when you're in Australia on a working holiday visa is Allianz. As you can see here, they also offer several different tiers of pricing, several different tiers of service, and their lowest tier, lowest price plan, which is specifically made for backpackers in Australia, runs $69 a month. All right, there you guys have it. Those are the 3 best options for health insurance if you are trying to go to Australia on a working holiday visa. I hope you guys found that information helpful. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the video out a lot. Additionally, if you're planning a trip to Australia on a working holiday visa, you should definitely check out my complete guide to the Australian working holiday visa. It's a much more in-depth video that covers a ton of topics. I definitely recommend watching this video if you plan on going to Australia on a working holiday visa. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.